the Democrats are trying to bring in a one-party system, which is all about the Great Reset. But that's not the show. That's not the real... That's not where everything is happening. It is happening, as we'll show you later on in the program, it's already happening to the banks. It's already happening to businesses. It's already happening to you with COVID. So many people have written me this week and said, Glenn, I'm reading the book right now, there are solutions. And yes, there are solutions, and they are practical solutions at the end of the book. Later on in the program today, I'm going to go over economic solutions for you. But I've also drafted up a practice steps to revive the republic, and I'd like to send this out in my newsletter and also post this at Facebook and everything else during the show today. It's practice steps to revive the republic, and it's nowhere near a comprehensive list. There's lots of things that we have to do, but let me give you just a few of them, and they're going to sound simple or crazy or... Come on, that's not going to, but it is. This is all part of it. Remember, our foundation is rotten. So unless we go back to the cornerstones and we fix that, we can never level the house. The house will come down. It's only a matter of time. We have to stop taking shortcuts and go right to the cornerstone. So number one, get married and have a family. Get married and have a family. The best thing you can do, this Mother Teresa said, best thing you can do to promote world peace is get married, have a home, have children, and love your family. Family is the first government we enter into. It's where we are taught the ideas, the virtues that are necessary for self-governance. Your kids start to rebel in their teenage years because they're ready to start governing themselves. They want that. So our job is to love our children, teach them, and then let them go and make their own decisions. That is the natural order of things. So you learn those things. And if kids are, out on their own, they're, not in a good family, the family has disintegrated, we call those people maladjusted. Because they didn't come from a family. Look at our murder rates and everything else. It's from broken homes. If you want to fix America, if you love someone, if you know what that means, and you're a decent human being, marry them. Marry them. Now. Marry them and start a family. Reagan said, if you're concerned about the fall of America, some have suggested in today's world the family has somehow become less important. I can't help but thinking just the opposite. When so much around us is whispering the little lie that we should live for the moment and just ourselves, it's important that our families affirm an older and more lasting set of values. All right, the second one, and I go into depth on all of these, and I'll post it at Facebook here in a few minutes. The second one is tell the truth. Jordan Peterson said something I think really profound. He said, when you have something to say, silence is a lie. It goes to Bonhoeffer. Silence in the face of evil is evil itself. You're lying if you stand by quietly. Lying today is really, really easy. And it takes the mess of the present and pushes it right into the future. It makes your life a minefield. One wrong step and everything blows up. Lying takes too much out of you. It just does. And I know I'm an alcoholic. I lied for many years of my life while I was drinking. And there is nothing more empowering than telling the truth and letting the chips fall where they may. Stop lying. We're all saying the media lies, politicians lies, the doctors, the celebrities lie, blah, blah, blah. But if we're lying too, even if it's just we're being silent in the face of these lies, then we know they are lies. And we can't expect things to improve. We have to agree with each other to stop lying and to start telling each other the truth and then listening to each other. When you are forced to remain silent, when you're being told the most obvious lies, when you're forced to repeat those lies yourself, you'll lose all sense of right and wrong, and you will become part of the evil that you are against. You have to embrace and promote a life of worthy values of liberty, and it begins with us. Third step: study history and read old books. The one thing I have learned over the years is these ridiculous scholars that are just quoting themselves, and they never get to an original source, and they want to tell me what somebody thought 200 years ago by dismissing what the people and the friends of that people and even some of the enemies said about those people at the time of their life. They have no new insight. Stop reading these new books. Start getting back to original sources. You know, so much is being lost because we're looking for new wisdom. It is old wisdom that will provide the stability. Fourth step I want you to consider is own, don't rent. You know, I said last night on the TV show, somebody asked a question. I don't remember what it was, but it was about the Great Reset. And they said, what is it? I think this was the question. What is it that these corporations are getting out of all of this? Why do they want to do this? Why would they cripple people? And how does that help them if they're destroying everything? Because they are the Mr. Potter in It's a Wonderful Life. You have to change your mindset on what corporations are now doing. They used to have a social contract that what was good for them, or what's good for you is good for them. That social contract is no longer valid. They are not thinking that way. They are looking to enrich themselves because they see that the world is changing. This is a longer discussion we can have, and it's also in the book. But they are making moves that will ensure their prosperity and really ensure your demise. And I want you to understand it like this. Mr. Potter, what was the story between Jimmy Stewart and Mr. Potter? What was that building, building savings and loan story really all about? It was about two visions. One was George Bailey and his father, and they said people had a right to own their own spot of land, to own their own life, and to make their own rules. And it gives pride. You know, a Harvard study came out in 2001, and they said there's strong, consistent evidence that indicates that homeowners are more likely to be satisfied with their homes and neighborhoods, participate in voluntary and political activities, and stay in their homes longer, contributing to the neighborhood. These things are all really good. There is pride of ownership. The Great Reset is about destroying all ownership. Own. Do not rent. Mr. Potter said, these people, they're never going to amount to anything. That's the elite speaking. These people, you can't trust them. They're bad. We have to control them. We'll put them into Pottersville. Pottersville is the Great Reset. That's what they want it to become, and that is exactly what it will become. Unless we start to do things to become self-reliant, more empathetic, and stand on the owner's mentality. The other couple of things here, I'm just going to give them to you quickly and I'll post them. Dump the tea into the sea. Remember who we're dealing with. Dump the tea in the sea and know your rights and your responsibilities. You have to know your rights and your responsibilities. And the last one is say republic more than democracy. because we are not a democracy. We are a republic, and that is an important distinction. I'm going to point these easy steps to my Facebook page here in just a few minutes. We'll post them so you can have them. These are New Year's resolutions that you can do and should do. I would love to get emails and phone calls from people today who say, I've been dinking around on my fiance or asking somebody to get married. I'm going to ask them today to marry me. Get married, start a family, buy a house, own something.